Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. When I despair, I remember that all through history the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end they always fall. Think of it always. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Prayer is not asking. It is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Nobody can hurt me without my permission. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Let the first act of every morning be to make the following resolve for the day. I shall not fear anyone on earth. I shall fear only God. I shall not bear ill will toward anyone. I shall not submit to injustice from anyone. I shall conquer untruth by truth. And in resisting untruth, I shall put up with all suffering. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The future depends on what you do today. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it even if I may not have it at the beginning. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Each night, when I go to sleep, I die. And the next morning, when I wake up, I am reborn. What difference does it make to the dead, the orphans, and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or in the holy name of liberty or democracy? To believe in something and not to live it is dishonest. It is unwise to be too sure of one's own wisdom. It is healthy to be reminded that the strongest might weaken and the wisest might err. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. It's the action, not the fruit of the action, that's important. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power, may not be in your time, that there'll be any fruit. But that doesn't mean you stop doing the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action. But if you do nothing, there will be no result. You don't know who is important to you until you actually lose them. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. the evil it does is permanent. You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. If I had no sense of humor, I would long ago have committed suicide. You may never know what results come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. Love is the strongest force the world possesses, and yet it is the humblest imaginable. The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Remember that all through history, there have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time, they seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Always. Silence becomes cowardice when occasion demands speaking out the whole truth and acting accordingly. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. They cannot take away our self-respect if we do not give it to them. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is the prerogative of the brave. There is no school equal to a decent home, and no teacher equal to a virtuous parent. To my mind, the life of a lamb is no less precious than that of a human being. Always aim at complete harmony of thought and word and deed. Always aim at purifying your thoughts, and everything will be well. I believe in the fundamental truth of all great religions of the world. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment, and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. My imperfections and failures are as much a blessing from God as my successes and my talents, and I lay them both at His feet. When every hope is gone, when helpers fail and comforts flee, I find that help arrives somehow from I know not where. Supplication, worship, prayer are no superstition. They are acts more real than the acts of eating, drinking, sitting, or walking. It is no exaggeration to say that they alone are real. All else is unreal. Each one has to find his peace from within, and peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. It is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. The seeker after truth should be humbler than the dust. The world crushes the dust under its feet, but the seeker after truth should so humble himself that even the dust could crush him. Only then, and not till then, will he have a glimpse of truth. 1,000 candles can be lighted from the flame of one candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness can be spread without diminishing that of yourself. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. I cannot teach you violence, as I do not myself believe in it. I can only teach you not to bow your heads before anyone, even at the cost of your life. The inner voice is something which cannot be described in words, but sometimes we have a positive feeling that something in us prompts us to do a certain thing. The time when I learned to recognize this voice was, I may say, the time when I started praying regularly. Nothing has saddened me so much in life as the hardness of heart of educated people. There would be nothing to frighten you if you refuse to be afraid. Many people, especially ignorant people, want to punish you for speaking the truth, for being correct, for being you. Never apologize for being correct or for being years ahead of your time. If you're right and you know it, speak your mind. Speak your mind. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. The moment there is suspicion about a person's motives, everything he does becomes tainted. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it even if I may not have it at the beginning. I should love to satisfy all if I possibly can, but in trying to satisfy all, I may be able to satisfy none. I have, therefore, arrived at the conclusion that the best course is to satisfy one's own conscience and leave the world to form its own judgment, favorable or otherwise. True morality consists not in following the beaten track, but in finding the true path for ourselves and fearlessly following it. I have learned through bitter experience the one supreme lesson to conserve my anger, and as heat conserved is transmuted into energy, even so our anger control can be transmuted into a power which can move the world. If you don't find God in the next person you meet, it is a waste of time looking for Him further.